Einen wunderschönen guten Morgen, Mittag oder auch Abend, meine werten Freunde. Mein Name ist und bleibt Jack von Jackinthegame und willkommen zurück zu Autopsy Simulator. Wir sind weiter drinnen im ersten Kapitel und ich habe gerade aus die Pause rausgenommen, das heißt, also er hat gerade angefangen zu reden über die Ergebnisse des Chromatographen. So, machen wir weiter.
Results show that we can eliminate alcohol poisoning from our list of potential causes of death. However, remember that alcohol can affect the functioning of the entire body. It disturbs the heart rhythm, accelerating its rate, and dilutes the blood, which may result in more severe bleeding in the event of an accident. Also remember that alcohol affects the metabolism of drugs in the liver, which I'll now look at in more detail. First, I'll pick up the syringe again. I'll take samples from the liver and the heart to test the concentration of barbiturates in the body.
Okay.
That's enough. I'll do the test later. I'd best not try my luck with the centrifuge right now. Now I removed the liver. No lesions. However, it is slightly enlarged. Perhaps it's a slight inflammation or drug-induced damage. It may also be the result of the deposition of substances from drugs. Let's check the weight of the organ.
Okay. Wiegen wir die Leber. Wo ist die Waage? Da. Gut. Ein Happen Leber.
The weight is 1,300 grams. The
Schon
liver is
groß.
enlarged.
Gut, ich habe Hunger auf Leber. Machen wir wie guter Hannibal.
Cross-sectional study. Perhaps the enlargement is the result of early cancerous changes. The blade glides through smoothly. I don't feel like I'm encountering any changes with an unusual structure. No steatosis or cirrhosis. The liver is actually quite clean inside. The liver is basically healthy. We already know that the deceased didn't abuse alcohol. The question is, what about drugs or other substances? I move on to the heart.
Oh.
At a glance, we can see signs of a heart attack. The deceased is definitely too young to have a heart attack due to natural causes. The liver is enlarged, not from alcohol poisoning, and the heart looks like it has collapsed. So, I guess we need to go to the centrifuge and check for these barbiturates.
Nee, das macht auf jeden Fall interessant.
The last time I saw this kind of poisoning was a few years ago. I better check the data in my notebook. He was a middle-aged guy. He took his medication and forgot about it. So, he took another pill. He forgot again and took another one. And another one.
Und meint, das war dumm. So.
Until he took the last one. That's why it's better to have amnesic drugs in boxes labeled with the days of the week. This sort of thing rarely happens anymore. Doctors tend to prescribe benzodiazepines. They are safer, but still shouldn't be combined with alcohol. Alright.
So. 2 Sekunden. Irgendwie mal gerade mein Cursor weg. So, wie viele Minuten war das gewesen? 10 Minuten. Okay. Und.
We close the centrifuge and pray that it doesn't trip anything again.
War nicht so viel.
It looks like our luck is in.
Glück gehabt anscheinend.
We can take the samples to the lab now.
Okay, auf zum
I
Labor.
wonder how she was able to get hold of these drugs.
Drogenhändler. Ganz einfach. Jack. Drogenhändler.
Okay, 2 samples this time. 6 milliliters each.
So. 6 Stück. Super. Dann hoch auf 12. Perfekt.
Well,
Und der
let's
Chroma.
see how much of it we find.
Aha.
Nothing surprising. Significant amounts of phenobarbital metabolites of hepatic origin.
Auf gut Deutsch.
It's like I'll have to check the contents of the deceased stomach.
Da ist aber ein Typ, der steht aber nee, war nix. Also den Magen überprüfen.
The tests showed that the collected blood contained enough barbiturates to cause cardiopulmonary collapse. The question now is whether it was an accident or a deliberate act. I'm proceeding to examine the stomach. Before extraction, I ligate the entire organ to prevent its contents from spilling out. Okay, I'm now cutting out the organ, which will move to the board for dissection.
Okay. Gerade mein Handy, was mir Gabs gesagt hat.
The stomach and intestines are full of surprises.
Normalerweise. Was ist, wenn da was anderes drin ist? Normalerweise.
Not this time. We see remnants of undigested food and a dense mass of pills. You don't take this many drugs by accident. Length and width normal. No obvious pathological changes. Undigested drugs found in the stomach of the deceased. The direct cause of death was probably an overdose. I'll check the rest of the organs, and then the nervous system. Lungs are normal, no lesions. The victim was probably a smoker, but was unlikely to be in any serious danger. The deceased's trachea is normal. Complete patency. No food or fluid. The deceased's intestine is normal. No clear pathological changes. Abdominal cavity checked off. We can check the brain.
Oh Gott.
I make a cut to open the lid of the victim's skull and remove the brain.
Oh, es ist immer so ekelhaft. Warum? Oh.
Brain is normal. No obvious lesions. Alright. I need to dissect it on a board.
Okay.
Using a knife, I carefully cut through the brain tissue. I peek inside a bit, and... I don't think there's anything worth noting. As expected, the deceased's brain is in excellent condition. No discoloration or changes due to hypoxia. There is still the matter of the marks on the neck. They look superficial, but who knows? Maybe the spinal cord has been severed. I need goggles and a saber saw. I think the goggles were in the desk drawer. Oh, they're out there.
So.
Alice. Saw. I need saw. Fuck. I don't see it here.
Ernsthaft, in den Keller.
I know. I probably left it in the basement after its last cleaning.
Super, ab in den Keller mit uns.
Mr. Ridley, I need a key to the basement.
It's in the social room.
Why is the key lying at the... If only he could put that much enthusiasm into his work. I get the feeling that searching through this rubbish is more pathogenic than working with corpses.
Okay, suchen Sie den Schlüssel. Das ist er doch.
Please, may this be the last trip.
So, dann ab in den... Okay. Ab in den Keller.
Fuck. Why did the prison convoy have to get into an accident? Jack, take a deep breath. Deep, pleasantly cool breath. You're nearly finished with the autopsy. Then you can go home and rest. I'll take the saw. Fuck! It's jammed! Doesn't anyone do maintenance around here? Damn hatch. Damn red Pete. Will I ever. If only.
Boah, Bruder! Nicht nochmal, du Scheißteil.
It would be easier if I put things away properly. Ugh, damn student lectures and their fucking props.
Bruder.
And like clockwork, he's already sleeping.
Oder ist er tot? Nee, der schläft noch. Okay.
Sorry for the short interruption. I hope you all took the opportunity to grab some coffee. And now that I have everything I need, I'll move on to revealing the spinal cord.
Okay. Oh.
Is removed. I can see that the spinal cord was not severed. This shows that apart from the marks around the neck, hanging didn't negatively affect the condition of the deceased. Ladies and gentlemen, almost over. Now, to sum up and tidy away the body. The direct cause of Samantha Barker's death was a heart attack resulting from an overdose of barbiturates. Traces found on the body suggest that the overdose was a deliberate act, following a failed attempt to hang herself. The autopsy found no evidence or genetic materials indicating that death could have been the result of an attack. Third-party involvement must be excluded. Autograph, and we can start sewing. In the 1950s and 1960s, the use of barbiturates for suicide was actually quite common. I think it was most talked about after the death of Marilyn Monroe.
Okay. Zumachen.
At home, it was a help and comfort. On death row, a farewell to the convicts. Well, we're done for today. Thank you for your attention.
Oh.
Tiring day. I can feel those hunger pains coming on. I guess I'll have to pick something up along the way.
Oh, vergessen zuzumachen. Entschuldigung.
Gloves in the trash.
Samantha.
The apron for cleaning. Now I can go. Camera. I didn't turn it off. A nightcap will do me good.
Hä? Die kann man nicht ausmachen, oder was?
Good night, Mr. Ridley. The police will pick up the body and accompanying documentation in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I guess there are actually two things in this world you can be certain of. Death and Ridley's reluctant attitude.
Ah, ja, wunderschön gesagt.
Maybe three things. My whiskey on the rocks when I get home.
Ah, ey, was für ein Arbeitstag. Alter Verwalter, du.
So cold. I guess I should have brought my jacket to work. This block can be quite intimidating when it's so quiet. Almost there. Stephen didn't want to go out for a drink tonight, so I'll drink my whiskey in the company of my TV. Shit. I forgot the muffin. Well, Ridley will have a nice treat for the night. I'm sure he'll be his happy, thankful self tomorrow.
Der wird mehr als happy sein, du. Die Tür abgeschlossen eigentlich?
What?
Wenn ich davon rede, ne?
Fuck. But I
Oh.
locked it. I'm sure of it.
Fuck. Ich wusste, dass da irgendwas nicht stimmte. Ich hab vergessen abzuschließen. Am besten Part 2 rein und dann siehst du es.
Who the fuck did this? I don't have anything valuable. Oh god. Oh god. What am I supposed to do now? Money. They must have stolen the money.
Oh shit.
Fuck!
Nein.
Great. That's all I need. What if it was Red Pete? Where? I need my pills. I can't get my thoughts together. Okay. I'm gonna have to report this to the police. Christ. Why did the neighbors not report anything? I'm calling Steven.
Nicht Steven.
Steven?
Now, Jack, I told you, I'm going for a drink with you for another night in a row.
That's not why I'm ringing. Although I could do with one. Someone broke into my apartment.
What? Did anyone see anything? Have you called the police yet?
No, I don't think so. Anyway, no one contacted me. As for the police, I'm calling right now, officer.
Alright. Do you want me to head around? Look for any trace evidence?
I don't know. No, I guess not. Honestly, I don't have the strength to deal with it right now. I just want to lie down.
Are you sure? Because it's no trouble at all.
I think so. I'm sorry. I just wanted to calm down a bit. I don't know. That's probably some stupid joke. Only money was stolen.
Money? From Alice's box? Oh, fuck. Listen, I can come over. I have the key. I'll drop by, do what I need to do, and you go get some sleep.
No, don't trouble yourself. Lately, I've been just so tired and distracted. I don't know. Maybe I forgot to close the apartment door on my way to work. If anything else is missing, I'll let you know and call the police.
Alright. Just make sure you close it tonight. If you see anything weird tomorrow, let me know. Whoever did this may be watching you.
I don't think anyone is dumb enough to come back.
You're probably right. Take care, Jack. If you need anything, call me.
I promise I will. Thanks, Steven. Sorry to bother you again. I've just been all over the place lately.
It's not a problem. Good night, Jack.
Good night.
Mhm.
What? I guess I should clean this shit up. Where to start? Shit. The glass in this thing needs to be replaced.
Jack, why?
Ugh, I think I'm just tired. I still don't understand why Alice liked this painting so much. There you go. To be honest, I could leave it like this. Maybe I could barricade the door with this. I should pack this thing away. I have no interest in DIY at the moment. Now I'm sure I won't get caught up in these papers. Alice's family should really have some of these. That's enough for now. Jeez, I'm exhausted. I'll get the rest in the morning. What a mess. Now if only I could blame this on the burglars.
Oh. Alles klar.
Oh yeah, I
Hä?
should take my pills.
Hm. Wait a minute. Okay, gut, wir waren schon worden.
I feel like it takes me forever to finish these things. That's enough. It will never look clean. I need to quickly change and finish getting ready. I'm gonna be late for work again.
So.
Got my keys, got my files. Check. Time to go. Remember to close the door properly, Jack. I'll ask the neighbors tomorrow if they saw anything suspicious. I wonder if Ridley fixed the coffee machine.
Ach, glaub nicht. Ridley wird bestimmt wieder seine Zeitung lesen, der gute alte Sack.
Maybe a bit optimistic. I'd better grab a coffee on the way.
So, Abmarsch.
I'm exhausted. I wonder who Stephen brought in today. Good morning, Mr. Ridley. No, he's not here yet? No, I'll do without him. I hope he... Oh, come on. He was too lazy to even wheel the gurney to the autopsy room.
The fuck war das?
Almost there. Now for the tough part. The body needs to be moved. Where's Ridley when you need him? Alright. I just need some gloves and my apron. Then I can get to work. I'm going to need my tape recorder for this. Autopsy dated November 22nd, 1991. 7:32 p.m. I begin by verifying the identity of the Jane Doe. It's most likely Harper Lloyd, age 35, found in a well-owned house by her neighbors Leonard and Dorothy Chelsea, reported missing for a week. It is also known that the deceased was diagnosed with affective bipolar disorder. Harper was placed on drug therapy, which she dropped out of fairly regularly. During her treatment, she was under the care of her common-law partner, Richard Benson, professional truck driver. The last person who had contact with the deceased was her partner. Harper's last message read as follows. I'm gonna take a shit in their stupid well. Then we'll see who has the last laugh. Police records also show that Mrs. Lloyd was in constant conflict with her neighbors. The constant parties and subsequent brawls made living in the area nearly impossible, especially when Lloyd's partner wasn't around. Firefighters found the body after the Chelsea family began complaining that their tap water tasted strange. At one point, had begun to smell and turn a dark color.
Ja. Sie wollte ja den Brunnen scheißen, ne?
I proceed to open the bag. The most important task in forensic identification of a drowned person is to distinguish whether the death occurred before or after entering the water. Okay, that could have been worse. I carefully removed the victim's clothes so as not to damage the skin. The deceased one shoe was missing. I'm going to need the camera to document all possible suspicious marks. Definitely the first thing that stands out is the very advanced post-mortem gigantism.
Ja, die ist angeschwommen, was eine Wasserleiche ist.
The skin of the deceased appears very delicate, smooth, and relaxed from being in the water for a long time. The whole body is extremely pale. There are bruises and hemorrhages on the neck. These usually occur due to increased inhalation when fighting to breathe underwater. Post-mortem markings are seen on the underside of the body, that is, on the back, thighs, and calves of the deceased. It's likely that the deceased was lying on her back when she was fished out.
Oh, was haben wir hier?
The so-called washerwoman's skin on the feet. The deceased had indeed been in the water for a long time. The skin on the hands can be easily separated from the body. The separation takes the form of a glove.
Hier.
There are some obvious scratches on the skin. So, after the preliminary exam, it's time to take a closer look at this. Today's date, the deceased was clothed. Rigor mortis does not need to be checked. Based on the state of decay, you can be sure it has subsided.
Okay.
We see thick, white foam in the mouth of the deceased, resulting from pulmonary edema. Foam is a characteristic in deaths due to drowning.
Lecker Schmecker.
There are obvious scratches on the skin, especially on the back and hands. These could be defensive wounds, evidence of some sort of altercation prior to death.
Oder sie ist irgendwie halt runtergestürzt, hat sich gekratzt dabei.
No obvious signs of struggle. The skin on the hands would have easily peeled away from the flesh. Some of the fingers have already lost their nails.
Lecker Schmecker, du.
The spots have a purplish blue-red hue, which is a typical sign of the death of the organism. Yep, pretty typical. Liver mortis are formed as a result of putrefaction of blood in the veins.
Okay.
Due to the fact that the deceased was wearing shoes all the time, her feet are in better condition than her hands. Nevertheless, we can still notice a clear, wavy skin and the so-called washerwoman's skin texture. Okay, that's probably enough to indicate a direction for further examination.
Okay.
Better note that down in the records. Marks found on the neck and foaming at the mouth are typical signs of drowning people. There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about this liver mortis. Those abrasions appear relatively fresh. No healing or scarring is visible. Hands heavily wrinkled from submersion in water, typical washerwoman's skin. Diffuse spots are caused by blood rotting in the veins. Considering the deceased's penchant for drinking alcohol, it could have been a mere accident. In this case, the question is, was drowning an accident or of suicidal intent?
Aber ja, Unfall.
Their distribution suggests that the victim was probably lying on her back when fished out of the water. Maybe it's just an abrasion, or fortunately, the skin on the hands didn't fall off. Otherwise, I'd have trouble identifying the deceased. Liver mortis of a different color could indicate poisoning with carbon monoxide, cyanides, or nitrates. However, a simple trip, loss of balance, and as a result, you end up in a deep... Before I begin the dissection,
Okay.
I'll make sure the suggested identity is correct.
Das heißt?
The suitcase with the fingerprint equipment should be around here somewhere.
Okay, da ist es.
Here it is. With decomposing bodies, the tissue of the pads and the fingerprint sheet should always be checked. Slipping fingers, too much or too little ink, or inaccurate hand position. If the body of the deceased is well preserved, fingerprinting is similar to that of a living person. I'm going to conduct a dactyloscopic examination. If in fact the deceased is in the police database, I will find her. Glycerin is injected successively between the nail and the skin of each finger. The substance then enters the fingertip, removing shrinkage and wrinkles.
Aha.
I take a brush. Only when the skin is taut and elastic can you use ink.
Und was muss ich jetzt hier machen?
I think
Ah,
it's
okay.
enough. In the case of drowning victims, you have to be extremely careful. The skin may fall off the hand like a glove when you take the print.
Ja.
I'll use the fax machine to add the print into the system.
Und wo ist jetzt die Faxmaschine? Ah, okay. Und... Ah.
Button and... Once the data uploads, I'll run the prints against the police database on the computer.
Okay.
The data is there. Click upload. Now, go through the database and find a matching print. Expect possible hours of fun.
Okay.
One more. Okay. Let's check for matches.
Wird nicht passen. Nee.
This is not our Jane Doe.
Ja, gefunden.
One more. Analyze button. And we have a result.
Also.
Everyone has a story to tell, even if it's just a police record. So, as predicted, the deceased turned out to be Harper Lloyd. That went smoothly. I'll print this out
Alter.
and attach it to the medical records. Some of my previous cases, a reminder of more prosperous times. Great. Now I can go back to my inspection.
So.
I'm adding the name of the deceased. I'll start the internal examination by taking fluid from the victim's brain. A needle inserted through the nose will do the trick. If the victim was alive when she fell into the well, she must have swallowed water fighting for her life, and then diatoms, characteristics of pooled water like a well. In the meantime, I'll check the sample under the microscope. I'm sure that these algae traces will be found in the samples taken from the well where police found the body. Now I need to adjust the knobs properly. I won't even notice an army of diatoms from this distance. It's not a... and perfect. The aperture still needs adjustment. The image is too... I won't even notice an army of diatoms from this distance. Oh, I'm finally starting to see something here. Nah, too much light. It's not a dirty line. And perfect. Oh, I'm finally starting to see something here. Great.
Oh.
This way I'll see if I'm dealing with a large concentration of these algae. It's not a dirt... and perfect. The aperture... oh, nah, oh. I'm finally starting to see something here.
Okay.
As expected, we find the aforementioned algae in the solution. Their upper part, Epitheka, which overlaps the lower, Hypotheka, is clearly visible.
Okay.
The presence of diatoms in the brain samples taken indicate that the deceased was certainly alive when she fell into the water and was possibly conscious.
Gut. Aber ich bin wieder verarmt. Ich sehe den nächsten Part wieder von Autopsy Simulator und bis dahin bleibt geschmeidig. Danke fürs Zuschauen und wenn du soweit noch dabei bist, hey, vergiss nicht liken, sub und auch kommentieren. Darüber würde ich mich sehr freuen und hilft mir sehr viel weiter damit. Ansonsten wunderschönes Öle oder wunderbare Schöle mit einem wunderbaren Öle und ich sehe euch wie gesagt im nächsten Part von Autopsy Simulator wieder. Bye bye.